Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be implementing the mouse cursor follow feature. So let's begin.
I really think you should.
So in here I just have a sample scene, and in the sample scene I just have a circle with a mouse cursor follow script which we can use to implement that feature. So let me open up it in Visual Studio Code. So first we want to declare few variables. First we want to say public float speed, and let's default it to 5, and then we want to say vector to mouse position, and then we also want the camera. So we say public camera my cam, and then we want to say, let's remove the public, we can say my cam is equal to find 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 object of type camera, and with this function we can just find the object of type camera and store it in my cam. So now we want to say in the update function we want to set mouse position equal to my cam dot screen to world point. So basically we want to take the screen point and kind of like change it to the world point view, and we want to provide input dot mouse position. So now we are getting the mouse position, and then what we can do now is we can say transform dot position is equal to vector to dot move towards. And then the first we are gonna pass transform dot position, and then for the second we can provide mouse position, and the third we can provide the speed variable times time dot delta time. And that's it. That's basically all you have to do. Oops, my spelling mistake. And let me hit play. And you see it follows the mouse cursor, but it's a bit slow. Let's just increase it to kind of like 50. Yeah, 50. And yes, now it's a bit better. There is another way you can also do this. We can use the rigid body component also. We can say rigid body 2D, and then we can set the gravity scale to 0, or else it will fall down. And then let's just keep other setting like that, and let's go back to our, we can keep the other setting like this, and let's go back to our script. And then in here we'll provide public rigid body 2D and call that RB. Well, for this also we can remove this public and we can say RB is equal to get component. Here we are using get component because this component rigid body 2D is on the same game object, which is the mouse cursor follow, whereas my cam is a different camera object. That's why we are using get component of type rigid body 2D and we are storing it in RB. So now let me just comment it out, and over here we can say RB dot move position and then over here we can provide our mouse position, and over here if you want you can multiply it by speed and add time dot delta time. And then let me hit play. Ooh, it staggers too much. Let me just remove the speed over here and the time dot delta time and comment out the speed also, and now everything should be working fine and well. There you go, it works very well, just like the before one. Now if we want to restrict it to an axis, either on the X or on the Y, we can do another thing. Let's create two bools. We want to call it restrict Y and we want to set that to false, and another we want to say restrict X, also we want to set it to false. And then what we can do, we can add an if statement here. We want to say if restrict X, and we also want to check if not restrict Y is not equal to false. We want to say if it is equal to false, then we want to say, let me just copy this, and then we, instead of providing the mouse position, we can say new vector 2, and then inside here we are restricting on the X. That means we only want to provide the Y axis, so here we want to say RB dot position dot X comma mouse position dot Y, and then we can copy the same thing and then add an else here and then rechange the values. If not both, then we want, if both sides we are not restricting, then we want to say we want to provide the mouse position. We also let us also check if both of the bools are true or false. We will say else if restrict X and restrict y, then we want to say return. So we don't want to do anything if it is restrict x and restrict y. So now let's test it. It works properly. Now let me restrict it on the x. And you can see it only follows on the y-axis. We are restricting on the x-axis. Now let me restrict on the y-axis instead of the x-axis. And it works perfectly again. So let me restrict on both of them and let's see what will happen. And yes, nothing happens as we wanted. So now that will not provide any errors also. So that's it for this video. Thank you. Please share, subscribe and comment. Thank you. According to my channel analytics, 83.6% have not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button so you can see more of my future videos. Thank you.